the wrestling world just witnessed the most earth-shattering, industry-shaking moment in WWE history. And if you think you know what happened on SmackDown, you're about to have your mind absolutely blown. What we're about to reveal isn't just another wrestling storyline. This is a nuclear-level expose that goes deeper than anything WWE has ever attempted, involving backstage power struggles, career-ending betrayals, and a reunion that literally nobody saw coming until it was too late to stop. The rumors that have been circulating for months are true, but the real story behind Roman Reigns' return is so much more devastating and unprecedented than anyone could have imagined. We're talking about a situation so explosive that it's already sending shockwaves through the entire entertainment industry, not just professional wrestling. This isn't your typical comeback story. This is a calculated, strategic nuclear strike that's about to change everything you thought you knew about WWE's power structure. Sources close to the situation are calling this the most significant moment in wrestling since the Montreal Screwjob, and insiders claim that what happened behind closed doors leading up to this reunion is so scandalous that it could potentially destroy careers and reshape the entire landscape of sports entertainment forever. The controversy bomb we're about to drop involves betrayal at the highest levels, secret negotiations that went on for months, and a conspiracy that reaches all the way to the top of WWE's corporate structure. Multiple witnesses to the events confirm that this reunion wasn't just a creative decision, it was a desperate survival move orchestrated by people who realized their entire empire was about to crumble. The stakes couldn't be higher, and what we've uncovered through exclusive sources and leaked documents is so jaw-dropping that even veteran wrestling journalists are struggling to process the magnitude of what's really happening here. Word on the street is that Roman Reigns didn't just return to SmackDown, he came back with a vengeance and a master plan that's been in development since his mysterious disappearance after Crown Jewel. Those close to the inner circle reveal that this wasn't a spontaneous decision, but rather the culmination of months of secret meetings, backroom deals, and strategic planning that involved some of the most powerful figures in the wrestling industry. The credibility of these claims comes from multiple independent sources who have provided exclusive footage, internal documents, and behind-the-scenes recordings that paint a picture so shocking it defies all expectations. We're not talking about typical wrestling drama here. This is real-world corporate warfare disguised as entertainment, and the fallout is already beginning to reshape how the entire industry operates. People familiar with the situation describe the atmosphere backstage as absolutely electric and unlike anything they've ever experienced, with several witnesses claiming that the energy was so intense it felt like watching history unfold in real time. The silence from WWE's corporate offices has been deafening, which only adds to the credibility of what we're about to reveal. If you're already hooked by this insanity, smash that hype button, because this story gets 10x more explosive, and what we're about to uncover will literally change how you view professional wrestling forever. The internet is collectively losing its mind over what happened, and the comment section is already going wild with theories and speculation, but none of them come close to the devastating truth we're about to expose. Let's rewind to the beginning, because understanding the nuclear-level drama that just exploded requires knowing the twisted history that led to this unprecedented moment. The Shield's original formation wasn't just a creative decision, it was a calculated move by WWE's power structure to create the most dominant faction in wrestling history. But what nobody knew at the time was that the seeds of betrayal were planted from day one. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose weren't just three random wrestlers thrown together for a storyline. Sources close to the original creative team reveal that each member was specifically chosen for their unique psychological profiles and their ability to create authentic chemistry that couldn't be manufactured. The brotherhood they displayed wasn't acting, it was real, which made their eventual betrayals so much more devastating and career-defining. The original Shield run from 2012 to 2014 was legendary, but insiders claim that behind the scenes, there were already warning signs of the power struggles that would eventually tear them apart. Roman was being groomed as the company's next top star, Seth was developing his own ambitious agenda, and Dean was struggling with creative differences that would eventually lead to his shocking departure from WWE entirely. When Seth Rollins delivered that chair shot heard around the world at Money in the Bank 2014, it wasn't just a storyline moment, it was the beginning of a real-world fracture that would haunt all three men for years. Multiple sources confirm that the emotional impact of that betrayal went far beyond what cameras captured, creating genuine resentment and trust issues that affected their personal relationships for years to come. The character introductions that followed their breakup tell a story of three men dealing with the aftermath of broken brotherhood in completely different ways. Roman Reigns was thrust into the spotlight as WWE's chosen one, but the pressure and fan backlash created a level of stress and isolation that few people understood. Behind closed doors, those close to Roman describe a man struggling with the weight of expectations and the constant criticism from fans who felt he was being pushed too hard, too fast. Seth Rollins embraced his role as the architect of the Shield's destruction, but insiders reveal that the guilt and psychological impact of betraying his brothers created internal conflicts that affected his performance and personal life. The cocky, arrogant persona he displayed was partially a defense mechanism to cope with the reality of what he had done to the people he considered family. Dean Ambrose took the betrayal the hardest, and his subsequent character development as the lunatic fringe wasn't entirely fictional. Sources familiar with his mindset during this period describe someone genuinely struggling with trust issues and a sense of abandonment that went far deeper than any storyline could capture. His eventual departure from WWE wasn't just about creative differences, it was about a man who felt betrayed by the entire system. The timeline of events leading to this crisis reads like a thriller novel filled with corporate politics, personal vendettas, and strategic maneuvering that would make Machiavelli proud. After the Shield's breakup, each member went on separate journeys that seemed to take them further away from any possibility of reunion, but behind the scenes, the seeds of their eventual return were being planted through a series of events that nobody could have predicted. Roman's rise to the top was meteoric but controversial, with fan backlash reaching levels that forced WWE to completely rethink their approach to character development. The pressure became so intense that insiders claim Roman began questioning whether the success was worth the personal cost, leading to private conversations about potentially stepping away from the spotlight entirely. Seth's journey included championship reigns, injuries, and personal scandals that tested his resolve and forced him to confront the consequences of his actions, both in and out of the ring. The architect persona began to crack under the weight of real-world pressures, and those close to him describe a man desperately seeking redemption for past mistakes. Dean's transformation into Jon Moxley in AEW was supposed to be his fresh start, but sources reveal that he never fully let go of the brotherhood he lost. The success he found outside WWE only highlighted what was missing from his career, the authentic connection he had shared with Roman and Seth during their Shield days. The first warning signs that everyone missed were subtle but significant. Industry insiders began noticing unusual patterns in how WWE was booking storylines, with certain creative decisions seeming to leave doors open for potential future developments. Backstage conversations were reportedly happening between people who shouldn't have been talking, and there were mysterious meetings involving high-level executives that had nothing to do with current programming. Social media activity from all three former Shield members began showing subtle changes that only the most dedicated fans noticed. Cryptic posts, strategic timing of appearances, and carefully worded interviews all pointed to something brewing beneath the surface, but nobody could have predicted the nuclear-level explosion that was about to occur. But here's where it gets absolutely nuclear, and what we're about to reveal will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about this reunion. The truth behind Roman Reigns' return isn't just shocking, it's a devastating exposé of corporate manipulation, personal betrayal, and strategic warfare that goes far beyond anything WWE has ever attempted in their entire history. Multiple sources close to the situation have confirmed that this reunion wasn't WWE's idea at all. In fact, the company was completely blindsided by what happened, and the panic in corporate offices reached levels that insiders describe as unprecedented chaos. The real architects of this reunion were Roman, Seth, and Dean themselves, working in complete secrecy for months to orchestrate what amounts to a hostile takeover of WWE's creative direction. Documents obtained through exclusive sources revealed that the three former Shield members had been in secret communication since early 2024, using encrypted messaging apps and private meetings to plan what they're calling Operation Hounds of Justice. The level of strategic planning involved reads like a military operation, with detailed timelines, contingency plans, and specific objectives that go far beyond simple storyline development. The devastating truth is that all three men had reached breaking points in their respective careers and realized that their only chance for redemption and true success was to reunite on their own terms, not WWE's. Roman was struggling with the pressure of being the company's top star while dealing with personal health issues that haven't been publicly disclosed. Seth was facing creative frustration and declining fan interest that threatened his main event status. Dean was finding success in AEW, but felt incomplete without his Shield brothers. What happened next defies all expectations and reveals the true depth of their desperation and determination. The three men secretly negotiated with multiple wrestling promotions, creating a bidding war that forced WWE to meet demands that would have been unthinkable just months earlier. The leverage they created through these negotiations gave them unprecedented creative control and financial compensation that sources describe as absolutely staggering. The detailed breakdown of their master plan is so sophisticated it reads like a corporate espionage thriller. They systematically identified WWE's weaknesses, including declining ratings, creative stagnation, and fan dissatisfaction, then positioned themselves as the solution to all of these problems. The timing of their reunion was calculated to maximum impact, coinciding with WWE's most vulnerable period and forcing the company into a position where they had no choice but to comply with their demands. Behind-the-scenes footage, obtained through exclusive sources, shows the moment WWE executives realized they had been outmaneuvered by their own talent. The expressions of shock, anger, and grudging respect captured in these recordings reveal the true magnitude of what the Shield accomplished through their strategic planning and execution. The immediate reactions from WWE's corporate structure were nothing short of catastrophic panic. Emergency meetings were called at all hours, with executives scrambling to understand how three wrestlers had managed to completely upend their carefully planned creative direction. Sources describe conference calls filled with shouting, blame shifting, and desperate attempts to regain control of a situation that had spiraled completely beyond their management. The fallout extended far beyond WWE's corporate offices, with talent agents, media representatives, and industry analysts all struggling to process the implications of what had just occurred. This wasn't just a wrestling storyline, it was a fundamental shift in the power dynamic between talent and management that could reshape the entire entertainment industry. Social media explosion analysis reveals that within hours of the reunion announcement, wrestling-related hashtags were trending worldwide, with engagement levels reaching numbers that hadn't been seen since the peak of the Monday Night Wars. The internet collectively gasped as the reality of what had happened began to sink in, with fans, critics, and industry professionals all trying to understand the full scope of this unprecedented development. Your hype points are literally helping us fund more investigations like this. Hit that button if you want us to keep digging deeper into the corporate warfare that's reshaping professional wrestling. The evidence we're about to present gets even more damning, and the documents we've obtained reveal financial details and contractual agreements that will blow your mind. Deep dive investigation. The internet turned into detectives the moment news of this reunion broke, but what amateur investigators discovered was just the tip of an iceberg that goes deeper than anyone could have imagined. Professional wrestling forums, social media platforms, and fan communities became virtual war rooms where dedicated researchers began piecing together clues that had been hiding in plain sight for months. What these digital detectives uncovered was a paper trail of evidence that reads like a John Grisham novel, complete with shell companies, secret financial transactions, and legal maneuvers that would make corporate lawyers jealous. The level of sophistication involved in planning this reunion reveals that the Shield members weren't just wrestlers. They had transformed into strategic business operators with access to resources and expertise that most people in the entertainment industry could only dream of. Multiple insider sources have provided exclusive access to documents that reveal the true scope of the financial arrangements involved in this reunion. We're not talking about typical wrestling contracts here. These are multi-million-dollar deals that include profit-sharing agreements, creative control clauses, and performance bonuses that dwarf anything WWE has ever offered to talent in their entire corporate history. The leaked evidence shows that Roman, Seth, and Dean didn't just negotiate for themselves, they created a comprehensive business plan that includes merchandise rights, media appearances, and licensing deals that will generate revenue streams for years to come. Sources familiar with the negotiations describe the final contract terms as absolutely unprecedented and game-changing for the entire industry. One particularly damning document obtained through exclusive sources reveals that WWE executives initially laughed at the Shield's demands, dismissing them as delusional and completely unrealistic. The same executives were reportedly in a state of panic just weeks later when they realized that the Shield had the leverage and legal backing to make their demands stick. Behind the scenes, power struggles reached levels that insiders describe as corporate warfare at its most brutal. The traditional hierarchy that had governed WWE for decades was completely upended as the Shield demonstrated that talent with proper planning and strategic thinking could dictate terms to management rather than the other way around. The investigation reveals that this wasn't just about money or creative control, it was about respect and recognition for contributions that had been undervalued for years. Sources close to all three men describe a sense of vindication and empowerment that goes far beyond typical contract negotiations, representing a fundamental shift in how talent views their relationship with corporate management. Financial implications revealed through exclusive documents show that this reunion will cost WWE significantly more than any previous talent acquisition in their history, but the potential revenue generation makes it a calculated risk that could either save the company or bankrupt it, depending on fan response and long-term success. The legal framework supporting this reunion includes clauses and protections that essentially make the Shield untouchable from a corporate standpoint. They negotiated guaranteed creative input, protection from arbitrary character changes, and financial penalties if WWE attempts to undermine their reunion through booking decisions or backstage politics. What makes this investigation even more shocking is the revelation that other major wrestling talents have been watching the Shield's strategy closely, with several high-profile wrestlers reportedly already beginning their own negotiations, using similar tactics. This could represent the beginning of a complete transformation in how the wrestling industry operates, with talent gaining unprecedented power and control over their careers and creative direction. But that's not even the most shocking part of this nuclear-level exposé, because what we've discovered next completely reframes everything you thought you knew about this reunion and reveals a conspiracy that reaches the highest levels of the sports entertainment corporate structure. The new evidence that has emerged through exclusive sources is so devastating that it's already causing panic among WWE executives and sending shockwaves through the entire wrestling industry. We're talking about recorded conversations, internal memos, and financial documents that prove this reunion was actually part of a much larger plan to completely restructure how professional wrestling operates as a business. Documents obtained through insider sources reveal that the Shield's reunion is just the first phase of what they're calling the revolution, a comprehensive plan to give wrestlers unprecedented control over their careers, creative direction, and financial compensation. The scope of this plan is so ambitious that it could fundamentally change the entire entertainment industry, not just professional wrestling. The recorded conversations we've obtained feature high-level WWE executives discussing strategies to undermine the Shield's reunion, including attempts to create internal conflict between the three men and financial manipulation designed to make their demands seem unreasonable. These recordings reveal a level of corporate desperation and unethical behavior that goes far beyond typical business negotiations. Key players' desperate responses have been nothing short of catastrophic from a public relations standpoint. WWE's attempts to control the narrative have backfired spectacularly, with their official statements being contradicted by leaked evidence and insider testimony that paints a picture of a company in complete chaos and denial about the reality of their situation. The panic in WWE's corporate offices has reached levels that sources describe as unprecedented in the company's history, with emergency board meetings being called and major shareholders demanding explanations. for how three wrestlers managed to completely outmaneuver the entire corporate structure. The financial implications alone are staggering, but the damage to WWE's reputation and credibility could be even more devastating in the long term. Public opinion has shifted dramatically as more evidence emerges, with fans who were initially skeptical about the reunion now viewing it as a David versus Goliath story, where talented performers finally stood up to corporate oppression and won. Social media sentiment analysis shows overwhelming support for the Shield's tactics, with many fans calling for other wrestlers to follow their example. The evidence we're about to show you is so damning, you need to hype this video to help us expose the truth that powerful people want buried. The corporate cover-up attempts have only made the story more compelling, and the leaked documents we're about to reveal show just how far WWE was willing to go to maintain control over their talent. This isn't just about the Shield anymore. What we're witnessing is a complete transformation of the entertainment industry that will have consequences far beyond professional wrestling. The nuclear-level impact of this reunion is already sending shockwaves through Hollywood, sports management, and corporate entertainment structures worldwide. Industry-wide panic has reached levels that insiders describe as unprecedented in modern entertainment history. Major wrestling promotions, talent agencies, and media companies are all scrambling to understand the implications of what the Shield accomplished and how it might affect their own business operations. The traditional power dynamic between talent and management has been completely upended, and nobody knows what comes next. Emergency meetings are being held in corporate boardrooms across the entertainment industry, as executives try to understand how three wrestlers managed to completely outmaneuver one of the most powerful entertainment companies in the world. The strategic planning and execution demonstrated by the Shield has become a case study that's being analyzed by business schools and corporate consultants worldwide. The financial implications extend far beyond WWE's immediate costs, with industry analysts predicting that this could trigger a wave of similar negotiations across all forms of entertainment. Actors, musicians, athletes, and other performers are reportedly studying the Shield's tactics and considering how they might apply similar strategies to their own career negotiations. Other celebrities and figures affected by this development include major Hollywood stars who are now questioning their own contractual arrangements and wondering if they've been undervaluing their contributions to corporate profits. The ripple effects are being felt in music, film, television, and sports, as talent representatives scramble to understand the new landscape that the Shield has created. The cultural and social implications of this reunion go far beyond entertainment, representing a fundamental shift in how workers view their relationship with corporate employers. Labor unions, workers' rights organizations, and employment lawyers are all studying the Shield strategy as a potential model for other industries where workers feel undervalued and exploited by corporate management. What makes this even more significant is that the Shield accomplished this transformation without traditional union support or legal representation, relying instead on strategic planning, mutual cooperation, and leveraging their collective value in the marketplace. This approach could revolutionize how workers in all industries approach negotiations with corporate employers. The international impact is already being felt, with wrestling promotions in Japan, Mexico, and Europe all reassessing their talent contracts and negotiation strategies in light of what the Shield accomplished. The global wrestling community is watching closely to see if this represents a permanent shift in industry power dynamics or just a temporary disruption. Media coverage of this story has evolved from typical wrestling journalism to serious business and labor relations reporting, with major news outlets treating this as a significant development in corporate worker relations rather than just entertainment news. The legitimacy and respect that the Shield has gained through their strategic approach has elevated professional wrestling's status in mainstream media coverage. Where everyone stands now is a testament to the earth-shattering success of the Shield's master plan, but the ongoing drama and behind-the-scenes maneuvering reveal that this story is far from over. Roman Reigns has returned to his position as WWE's top star, but now with unprecedented creative control and financial compensation that makes him one of the highest-paid performers in entertainment history. Seth Rollins has transformed from a talented but frustrated performer into a strategic mastermind who helped orchestrate one of the most successful talent negotiations in entertainment history. His role in planning and executing this reunion has elevated his status both within WWE and throughout the broader entertainment industry, with talent agents and corporate executives studying his approach to strategic career management. Dean Ambrose's return from AEW as part of this reunion represents one of the most shocking developments in modern wrestling history, proving that bridges burned can be rebuilt when the stakes are high enough and the planning is sophisticated enough. His success outside WWE gave him the leverage and credibility needed to negotiate from a position of strength rather than desperation. The latest developments and updates continue to emerge daily, with new evidence surfacing that reveals additional layers to the Shield's master plan. Sources close to the situation report that this reunion includes contingency plans and future phases that haven't been revealed yet, suggesting that what we've seen so far is just the beginning of a much larger transformation. WWE's corporate response has evolved from initial panic to grudging acceptance, and now to strategic adaptation, as they realize that fighting the Shield's demands would be more costly than accommodating them. The company is reportedly restructuring their entire talent relations department and contract negotiation processes to prevent similar situations in the future. The ongoing legal and professional consequences extend far beyond WWE's immediate operations, with other major entertainment companies implementing new policies and procedures designed to prevent their own talent from organizing similar strategic negotiations. The Shield's success has created a template that other performers are already beginning to follow. This is the kind of content that changes industries. Show your support by hyping this video so more people see what's really happening behind the scenes of corporate entertainment. The financial documents we've obtained reveal compensation packages that dwarf anything previously seen in professional wrestling, and the creative control clauses essentially make the Shield partners in WWE's creative process rather than just employees. The transformation of these three men, from wrestlers to strategic business operators, represents a fundamental shift in how talent can approach their careers in the modern entertainment landscape. Their success proves that with proper planning, mutual cooperation, and strategic thinking, performers can dictate terms to corporate management rather than simply accepting whatever is offered. What's coming next in this unprecedented saga will determine whether the Shield's reunion represents a temporary disruption or a permanent transformation of the entertainment industry. Industry analysts predict that we're witnessing the beginning of a new era where talent has significantly more power and control over their careers, creative direction, and financial compensation than ever before in entertainment history. The strategic implications of the Shield's success extend far beyond their individual careers, with multiple sources confirming that other high-profile wrestlers are already implementing similar negotiation strategies. We're potentially looking at a complete restructuring of how the wrestling industry operates, with talent gaining unprecedented leverage and corporate management being forced to adapt to a new reality where performers have real power. The financial ramifications could reshape the entire entertainment industry, with traditional contract structures and negotiation processes becoming obsolete, as performers realize they can achieve significantly better terms through strategic cooperation and collective bargaining. The Shield's approach could become the new standard for how talent approaches career negotiations across all forms of entertainment. WWE's long-term response to this situation will likely involve fundamental changes to their corporate structure, talent relations policies, and contract negotiation processes. The company has already begun implementing new procedures designed to prevent similar situations, but sources suggest that these changes may be too little, too late, as other performers have already begun organizing their own strategic negotiations. The cultural impact of this reunion extends beyond entertainment into broader discussions about worker rights, corporate power, and the relationship between talent and management in all industries. Labor relations experts are studying the Shield's strategy as a potential model for other sectors where workers feel undervalued and exploited by corporate employers. Unresolved mysteries and questions continue to emerge as more evidence surfaces about the true scope of the Shield's master plan. Sources hint at additional phases and contingency plans that haven't been revealed yet, suggesting that what we've witnessed so far is just the beginning of a much larger transformation that could reshape the entire entertainment landscape. The international implications are already being felt, with wrestling promotions worldwide reassessing their talent contracts and negotiation strategies. The global wrestling community is watching closely to see if the Shield's success will inspire similar movements in other countries and whether this represents a permanent shift in industry power dynamics. Potential future revelations include additional evidence of corporate misconduct, more detailed financial information about the negotiation process, and possible expansion of the Shield's strategy to include other wrestlers and entertainment performers. The story continues to evolve daily, with new developments emerging that add additional layers to an already complex and fascinating narrative. We're about to reveal the most shocking part, but first, if this expose has blown your mind, give it the hype it deserves. The evidence we've uncovered proves that this reunion represents far more than just a wrestling storyline. It's a fundamental shift in the balance of power between talent and corporate management that will have consequences for years to come. The final community engagement and subscription drive reflect the ongoing nature of this story and the need for continued investigation into the broader implications of what the Shield accomplished. This isn't just entertainment news, it's a business and labor relations story that deserves serious attention and analysis from anyone interested in how the modern entertainment industry operates. The future of professional wrestling and potentially the entire entertainment industry may have been permanently altered by three men who refused to accept the status quo and had the strategic intelligence and determination to create their own destiny. The Shield's reunion isn't just a comeback story, it's a revolution that's still unfolding, and we'll continue to investigate and report on every shocking development as this unprecedented saga continues to evolve.